slipping back into bad habits. For example, last night, watched YouTube on my phone after hours, meaning after midnight. Don't think I got to bed until like 4 a.m. possibly. Just watching random Family Guy cuts. Um, Going to bed after a meal. That was pretty bad. Even though it was KFC Tuesday yesterday. So I didn't think I was going to make a video about this because it'd be too long, too extensive. But I think yesterday showed me that identity politics, agenda politics, gender politics, trying to select certain things to tell a narrative, that's wrong. That's not using facts, that's not using actual examples. And then there was a video I watched yesterday about peer review studies and how that even we can't trust scientific studies these days. And I remember my maths teacher in high school telling me that there are three kinds of lies in life. There are lies, damned lies, and statistics. So yesterday, the production, the shoot, if you can even call it that, it's a line down the middle, 100 quote-unquote volunteers, paid volunteers, which doesn't make sense, right? Line down the middle. One side of the line represents one answer, the other side of the line represents the other answer. So, it starts off with simple things like, are you single? Are you in a relationship? On this side, if you're on the left side, if you're in a relationship, on the right side, if you're single, etc., etc. So that's just to warm up the crowd, right? And then I felt the 80-20 rule came into play here, where 80% of the people just didn't know what was going on, and 20%, maybe even less, realized at the end, probably due to my action, that this was all a setup, this is all fake. And they called it out. But the other 80%, I don't know, like, seemed kind of weird to me. They didn't realize what was going on. Okay, so why I say it was agenda based was because what the topic really was, coming to the end, was because it was 100 people. They said statistically, on one side they put like X number of females, and on the other side was the remainder. So they wanted to show statistically that this is the number of females in the music industry who did X, Y, and Z. For example, who produced a song in the past 6 years, who write their own songs, who were nominated for a Grammy, etc., etc. Now, I don't listen to music because of who it's from, whether it's male, female, cat, dog, whatever. Not to sound crude, but music is. Whether it comes from a female or a male, it doesn't matter to me. And one of the questions was really annoying because there was no left or right that I could go to, so I stood in the middle. But they told me to move to the left. That's when I twigged. This isn't a social experiment, as they called it. So they're just using us to tell their own narrative, to illustrate their own point, not really counting into the fact the real statistics, the real choice of the people, which I think is terrible. Like most of the questions were subjective. Like there was one question, it was, do you think you're a good person? Well, no one is good all the time. There's gonna be a circumstance, like you're gonna be put in a situation where you have to be quote unquote bad. So it's a illogical question. So here comes the final question, which was, paraphrasing, do you think there's a problem with the lack of females in the music industry? Step to the right if you think yes, step to the left if you think no. Everybody steps to the right, bar me. Now they're not going to use that take. Why? Because it doesn't help their narrative. So one of the producers ran up to me and said, "Could you move to the other side, please?" And even before that, one of the other 99, this girl was like trying to wave me along to say, "Come over to this side, come over to this side." I could tell some people were like, "Why the fuck is he standing over there? Does he not think there's a problem?" Well, I think there's a problem with the narrative, and I don't think I've got all the facts, so I can't make a solid decision right here and then. So I can't abstain, so I'm gonna say no, I don't think there is a problem. There are females in the industry, but it's whether they want to get into the industry in the first place. Just because there's a lack of females, you can't. It's not a metric. Like imagine if we flip the script for a second and said, off the top of my head, secretaries. That there's a lack of males who are secretaries, and we did this same narrative. And then the final question was, step to the right if you feel that there is a lack of males in the secretary industry. I don't feel that. It's not something that females want to, that males want to go into necessarily. So there's that. So I stood my ground, and then as I was ushered over by the producer, some of the other people said they shouldn't be allowed to do that. They can't make you do that. And I said yes, they can, because obviously they're trying to tell the narrative. They're trying to suit their own agenda. So they have to do the retake. And I said to them, look guys, like me going over to this side doesn't change my opinion. And you got insider knowledge now that, this is all fake. So, as long as I know and as long as you know, and you can spread the word if you want, hashtag whatever. If I just kept on standing on the other side, we'd be there all day. So there's a choice we have to make in life, and that is, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. I felt the energy of some of the people on the other side. I know they wanted to stand with me, but they saw it as well for what it was. They don't want to make a statement. They just want to get paid at the end of the day. They just want to go home. Some guy, because there was like maybe 20 questions, some guy just sat to the side because, I don't know, he was tired or something. Millennials, huh? Can't even stand up for 4 hours. But that's another story for another day. The main rhetoric here, the main point I want to drive home here is there are going to be people out there which use statistics and they're going to select the specific statistics to suit the narrative. And that's dangerous in this world where social media is so prevalent. where if you want to search for something, you can find it. Good example I give is if you search for benefits of smoking, you'll find it. If you search for
Personal information.
negatives
Passwords
of
are twice
smoking,
to be careful
you'll
and
find it.
hold onto the handrail
If you search
when
for
using the staircase
benefits of
at
being
our
fat,
station.
you'll find it.
Thank you for your support and cooperation.
There's gonna be someone that's written an article to the contrary. I don't mind being on the side of unpopular, because at the end of the day, that's society telling you that you should be on this side. But why? Just because it's a majority vote doesn't mean it's right. I just didn't like the way that I was led to the other side. Like I couldn't make my own mind up for myself. That the other 99 were fed these statistics to say, look here, look here. This means, therefore, that there's a problem in the music industry in terms of female employment. No, it doesn't. Just numbers are numbers. Facts are facts. Doesn't mean there's a problem. If you had zero, then there'd be a problem. The fact that you have some females in the music industry producing songs, performing their own songs, being nominated, and for every male artist, if there was a female version, that doesn't mean that automatically that guarantees success, or automatically that performance should earn the same amount. That was another point that drove through, is that females in the music industry were getting paid 30% less than their male counterparts. But what does that actually mean? If they're doing less work, then they get paid less. I don't know the ins and outs, but this reminded me a lot of Jordan Peterson's debate with Kathy Newman. I think that was her name. So it was kind of disgusting at the end. Left a bad taste in my mouth to know that this kind of thing happens. But, you know, seeing is believing for some people, and this is how they get you. That's why I take my dose of red pills every day. Keep it fresh. Not everyone's gonna be like me. Not everyone's gonna be confident to stand up the way I did yesterday. And I hope that I showed a few people yesterday that it is possible to stand up for what you believe in. And just because I was ushered to the other side doesn't mean that my opinion changes. So that's it for now. I will say peace out. Go into production. And keep it sweet.